Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Horror Huddle. I'm Stacey Beth, and we've got Ash here as usual.
Howdy.
Today we're going to be talking about 2013's Oculus, which is I watched it sometime last year and remember just saying I don't like this movie. I think it's terrible. And then I
remember when you told me that, I was like, really? You didn't like it? We kind of had a thing where we like kind of the same movies, and I was like, I love the movie. Then I was just kind of
it was interesting because it was my pick this week.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I want to watch it again because for some reason lately, the last several months, I've been hearing people talk about it a little bit more, and they were saying they loved it. And I was just like, okay, then obviously I missed something, so let me rewatch it. I watched it today. I called Ash, and I said, I take back what I said. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so anyways, it came out in, I think it was released in April of 2014. So the basic IMDb plot is a woman tries to exonerate her brother who was convicted of murder by proving that the crime was committed by a supernatural phenomenon. And that's what it gives you. And then, so, you know, I don't want to go into the movie just yet. Real quick, it was directed by Mike Flanagan, who I knew him because he did Absentia, this movie a couple of years ago, which I actually really, really liked. So if y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. And it kind of makes sense to do this because he's now coming out with two movies this year, one called Hush, which looks like it's going to be really cool. And I think they premiered it at South by Southwest just last week, and people were talking pretty highly of it. And he's coming out with a new one called Before I Wake, which I saw the trailer for a while back, and it's really good also. Two horror movies. So I figured Oculus would be a good one to do, you know, since he's going to come out with a couple of movies this year.
Well, and then the girl that plays the main girl, what's the girl's name exactly? 'Cause I just remember his sister.
Yeah, so
who plays her?
Karen Gillian.
And she plays Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy, if I'm not mistaken.
A lot of other nerds will know that she played, I don't remember her name, in Doctor Who. And
oh, yeah.
So that's what I remember her as. And so she's the lead in this film. Her name's Kaylee. Her brother Tim, who's played by Brenton Thwaites, and then there's my dad, which, I mean, I recognize the dad, but we didn't really care to write down names too much.
Yeah, I recognize both of them. I couldn't remember the names of the characters that much because honestly, in the movie, that's all they are. They're the mom and dad.
Yeah, they play a very large part in the film, but you know, we're just like mom and dad. Anyways, so basically,
it's a family affair.
Yeah, the movie basically follows Kaylee, and I guess we kind of, Ash was trying to explain it to me, but I'm still not quite sure. I guess she works at an auction house, or she's an appraiser or whatever, and they are auctioning off this mirror, the Lasser glass. And it's this mirror, they kind of just talk real quickly about how long it's been around, whatever, and they auction it off, someone buys it, and she procures it to, you know, through some shady means. She did not win that auction, so she ended up getting it because she wants to kill the mirror. Her brother is released, and as far as you know, he killed the parents. That's what we kind of already know. Or not the parents, but the dad.
He was in a mental asylum because, you know, he's batshit crazy.
Yeah. And so she had been looking for this mirror since, you know, the last 10 years or so, because the parents had that mirror, which they believe was the result, or was the causing, you know, factor in the parents' ultimate death, you know. Like, that's what she's like, we're going to kill this. We made a pact when we were kids to kill this thing. And this son, at this point, the brother is like, fuck this shit. Like, I don't care. I'm out. I don't want to deal with this stuff.
Well, it wasn't that. He literally, you know, once he got out, he was like, wow, I did kill him, and, you know, killed my father, but he was nuts. It wasn't the mirror. He was just nuts. So it's a funny thing where there's that moment where he's supposedly the crazy one, and he's the one that's trying to tell her, it's like, sis, you're nuts. Yeah. It didn't happen the way you think it did.
He's now skeptical. He doesn't believe it anymore. It's kind of like the therapy has made him accept that it was him, and, you know.
And it's the sister that's now kind of like, no, we killed them. We have to get rid of it.
So, and through flashback scenes, you get flashback scenes throughout, and, you know, in the beginning stuff, you start to see that it's this seemingly normal family, happy, they get the mirror, and progressively things start becoming more settling, and the dad's mood starts changing, and then you're flipped back to present day, and you know, we assume that the parents have died because of the mirror, and but we're not sure how yet. And then, you know, Kaylee has the mirror, and she gets the house because apparently while she was in foster care, the house just sat on the market, never got sold. So when she got out of foster care, they gave her the house back. So she has this mirror set up in there now, and she also set up this really elaborate system full of cameras, you know, temperature fluctuation, all this stuff.
Yeah, alarms telling them when to eat, when to drink, so they don't like die.
All kinds of stuff. And basically, the big major thing she has is a kill switch. Is that if something should so happen to them that they can't set these timers off, this timer will go off, and this giant thing will come crashing down.
Yeah, it's basically what was it? It was
it just looks like a giant spike.
It was anchor with like weights on it, like set beam, and would just smash them
and kill the mirror and destroy it. So when she's showing the brother this entire elaborate setup, she is talking to a camera and explaining the history of like the morbid history of this mirror. And dating back to like the 1760s or 50s or something, the original guy who owned it, Lasser, you know, died in a mysterious way. And then I think she said that there were 45 deaths attributed to that in the last like 400 years. And she does several examples of the people that have died, how they died, with pictures, which was like a really cool scene, you know.
And it was good because a lot of those deaths tied into like the caution she made. Like one of them was a woman who pretty much thirsted to death, dehydrated to death in a bathtub full of water.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know, that's why she has the alarm set. It's like, you know, when the alarm goes off, we have to drink water, even if we think we want it or not.
Yeah, exactly. Because the mirror will change their minds. It makes them think they're seeing things. They're making a phone call in the house to someone outside of the house, and it won't even be a real phone call. You know, it just fucks with them. So then eventually, through the flashbacks, we find out that the mom eventually suffers this mental breakdown because the dad's mood is just, you know, he's becoming crazy, and the mom starts to think he's having an affair. And so she starts losing it, and then they just both kind of crumble. And then that's when all this stuff happens.
Yes.
You know, and you do find out that the son shot the husband because he killed the mom, and you get to see what happens and everything. And then that's not even all of it, because there's like the last 25, 30 minutes when the confusion sets in and things start meshing together and things start intertwining, and it just becomes crazy, and you see exactly how everything happened. But we don't want to give that away just in case you...
And I will say this, while the last 20 minutes does have that intertwining of the past and present, it is confusing, but I think it works for what it is, because you as the viewer are getting more and more confused what's reality and what's not, just like the characters are losing touch of what's reality and what's not.
Yeah, and you're taken along on this ride with them, because you, like you said, we also don't know what the hell is going on. We're like, well, he called the cops, or he called this person, or he called this person, but wait, and this...
Yeah, outside he called the cops, and then he's like, why am I in the house? And she's like, you haven't moved.
Yeah, and you also see through the flashbacks that happening to them as children, because they were seeing the parents going crazy, so they were calling doctors, and it was saying, well, you need to ask your father. And they're like, what? The same doctor that we just called told us that. And it's the same voice. And the doctor before that said the same thing too. So then they start to realize, and we just can't give some of it away, just in case y'all haven't seen it. Right now, these are spoilers, but it's not major. This is all stuff that you see in the beginning of the film. You slowly pick up on it. And the ending is not some crazy twist reveal. It's not something, you can basically figure it out. It's a very easy movie to figure out what's going to happen, how it happens, because they tell you what happens at the end.
Well, that story, but then the end, it kind of telegraphs it, but it's an okay way. It doesn't.
And there is a shock scene, but you still kind of know this is going to happen. You figure it out. You're like, okay, there's way too much foreshadowing. There's way too much emphasis on these certain things. Like, you know what's going to happen. But
I know. Let me point out some negatives of the movie. This movie, I guess, the backstory when was it supposed to take place? The late 90s, because the girl is asking for a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
At the dinner table. If it's the late 90s, why are they playing Game Gear on the couch? Both of them had a Game Gear and the System Link. I was like, well, no, I remember playing that when I was a kid, and I'm 30.
My understanding is that the film was made in 2013. It was supposed to take place in 2013. 10 years had passed. So she was, I don't know, maybe she was, 12? I think the mom said 12-year-old. So
but it would have taken place in 1993?
No, 2003.
Well, 10 years before that, when they were children.
No, 20. It's supposed to take place.
Well, but then again, if it's 2003, guess what? Who plays Game Gears in 2003? So I was like, that was the point where I was like, well, maybe it's like, maybe part of it in the script, original script, they're like, well, maybe it's supposed to be like 1993.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they just didn't change it because it was like
supposed to be in the early to mid 2000s, So that's just kind of what I took it as. And you're like, okay, well, they had cell phones then, and she wanted one, but she was like, no way, like that was a time when kids didn't have cell phones, especially not like now, So I didn't dwell much on that. One of my first gripes is her bangs. Her bangs were awful. She had terrible, terrible bangs. They bugged the fuck out of me. Like they were just, I don't know. That was, I think, one thing that just turned me off. I was like, I can't watch this. Her bangs are awful. But that's a woman's perspective of my gripe in the movie. The bangs are awful. Like,
honestly, I thought the acting throughout was pretty good for everyone. I love the parents acting the most, especially the mother. She just did that, a slow transition and nuts.
And the dad was really good at that too, as well as that steady decline,
Yeah, just kind of withdrawing from the family a little bit more.
Yeah, and I liked that they did add in that little, is it an affair or is it not? What's going on? Wait a minute, because it helped the mom along and her going crazy.
Well, plus what she heard him say as she walked out of the room, or was it him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like
so much weirdness, and there were some creepy scenes and stuff, but before we get to that, though, the acting, I liked. I thought the little girl who played Karen Gillian's younger part, she was great. I thought she was better than Karen Gillian.
Yeah.
I told Ash, I wrote it in my notes that I was like, overacting. I feel like she overacted, and I didn't know if maybe it was because she was trying too hard to keep the American accent, that she was kind of just going with the lines and just not really focusing on the acting, or what. It just felt too forced, felt hard. It felt like she was just being like very forceful and how she
a little bit too much, because I can understand her character needing that, because the brother's character was kind of a wuss at the beginning of the movie. He's like,
yeah.
I don't think we should be dealing with this. We need to move on with her life. And she's like, no, this mirror fucked us. We need to kill it.
To be fair, he was kind of a wuss the entire movie.
Well, he got better as it went on, but that's why I'm thinking that she did go for that very heavy, because his character was a little bit on the other side too.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked the whole setup of the system that she did to try and catch this doll, and it was neat. It was very elaborate.
Very elaborate, which I really liked. I appreciated that, because this movie kind of reminds me of another movie that came out probably about a year or so, 1408.
I love 1408. We're going to have to...
It gave me like vibes of that movie, because, again, trying to prove that this room or this place, this mirror, is evil, and going through all these steps, and then also the psychological, like, is this real or not thing going on. I loved it.
Yeah, that was definitely it didn't necessarily keep us on our toes, but it had us like, waiting for something different to happen, or something to, turn it all around.
It just made us question, basically, at a certain point, if what we're seeing is actually what's happening.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't find anything out till the end. That's great. It doesn't do it too early, too late. It's just perfect. Like, here, this is how it is, and this is exactly what you think it is, or what you don't think it is, or they kind of just give it to you and stuff. There were some definite like cringe scenes for sure. I mean, there weren't a lot.
They did those good. Yeah. They did those really good.
Thankfully, there weren't a lot of jump scares, which I can appreciate. There weren't a lot. There were a couple. There were a couple, but it wasn't too much. And they didn't base the whole movie on jump scares like a lot of doing and stuff. There were some very cringy scenes, particularly the nails. Of course, there's got to be goddamn fingernails coming off and stuff. And I mean, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, and I love those cringe moments. That's like, oh, ow.
The one that both agreed on.
The apple?
Yeah. Yeah, there's...
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene with an apple, and you're like...
Yeah, I'm just like, my mouth hurts, like, and I've been dealing with some gum the last week, so that did not help. I was just like, oh, I'm sore, this sucks. So there were some great cringe scenes. There were some, during the film, she explains certain things that happen to, pets and plants and stuff that will let you know the mirror is starting to take over, plants are dying, and animals will start to become lethargic, and then eventually they just disappear. And so there was one scene with the doggy, and she had it for like an experimental purpose, and I was like, no, not the doggy! Like, and I'm going to give this away. The doggy lives, guys. Don't.
The doggy lives. Boomer lives.
One of the doggies lives. So, but the doggy that we care at the moment lives. So, just to let y'all know in case y'all are about to get scared. So yeah, but it was real stuff. I mean, it was just a cool concept for a movie. I really ended up liking it, and I think I just didn't the first time because I don't think I paid attention. Me and my husband were watching it, and I was on my phone half the time, and I just...
Yeah, because this is a movie that you kind of need to pay attention to most of it, if not all of it.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
I mean, not like you look away and you're going to miss something, but you need to follow along with what's going on. You don't have to like just sit there and not move an inch, but it's something that you need to pay attention to. Otherwise, you're not going to be into it. You're going to get to the end and go, what? Which is exactly what I did. I saw the end and I went, what the fuck happened? This is stupid. This movie sucks. And so finally I sat down today and watched it all and said, oh shit, this movie's great. Ash is right. Damn it. Ash loves it when he's right, guys.
Well, yeah, I would say this one is definitely a rental, if not just a straight out purchase.
Well, it's on Netflix anyways. Yeah. So, but I actually do think.
But if you like it enough, buy it because it is good to get money.
I definitely think
deserve it.
I think eventually I'm going to buy a physical copy. Yeah. That means I liked it. But I mean, it was cool because the movie I saw was made on a budget of $5 million, and it grossed $44 million, which I was like, wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's a success.
It's of course the Blumhouse film, so
Well, it's not just that. The one thing that really kind of made me, because I saw it the first time, didn't notice this when I saw it. Watched it again today, and it has right before the movie starts WWE films. I was like, huh?
Well, yeah, and I didn't notice that.
Because that's usually the kiss of death to any movie.
Yeah, I didn't notice it the first time. I noticed it the second time, and I was like, So I got on IMDb to look up, see what it said about the WWE films producing it, and they're just one of the producers, and they actually, what I read was that they didn't produce it or they didn't lend their help till well after the film had already came out in festivals and stuff like that.
And that's why the movie didn't suck.
Exactly. Yeah, Ash, I showed Ash See No Evil, and...
Well, but you know what? That's not that bad. See No Evil 2? So much better than Leprechaun Reborn or whatever the heck that remake with Hornswoggle that really just oh no. Warwick Davis is... he'd probably watch that and just get so pissed off because he's like, dude, you took a character I made and made popular and now you're just shitting on it.
I know, right? It's a pretty...
So yeah, when I saw WWE films, I was like, huh?
Yeah, we were a little hesitant, and then so when I saw it pop up this second time I watched it, I was like, oh fuck, maybe that's why I didn't like it. No, that's not why. It's just my dumbass.
It succeed regardless of that.
Yeah.
In spite of that, it succeeded.
Yes. So definitely this is one, go out, Netflix, rent it, buy it. I absolutely give it my stamp of approval.
Yeah, definitely. I give it mine.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, I think that covers it for our thoughts on Oculus. Guys, check it out. And thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.
Take care.
Bye.